Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive with us. This time, we're going to be talking about something pretty futuristic, building your own AI sales rep.
Yeah, it's really interesting because we always think about AI as like something in the future, right? Like, oh, it's going to happen, but we're looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's happening now. We're going to be looking at personal AI,
Right.
and they actually built their own AI sales rep to represent them on their website. It's a persona named Zoe.
Zoe. Yeah, and Zoe is amazing. She's not like just a chat bot, like we're
hmm
used to with those like really clunky experiences.
Yeah,
This is like talking to a real sales professional.
okay. So that's pretty impressive. I mean, I can imagine like a chatbot like giving you some basic answers, but to be able to actually hold a conversation like a sales rep, that's a different story. So how did they actually do this?
Well, the first thing is that they actually gave her a personality.
Okay.
Right.
So
So,
it's not just like a faceless robot.
yeah,
It
exactly.
has like a personality behind it.
So she is charming, creative, emotionally intelligent. All of these things are meant to make her more effective in interacting with people. Because think about it, when you meet a sales professional, you want them to be charming.
Yeah.
You want them to be creative.
Sure. Makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't want to talk to like a robot.
Exactly. So they've actually programmed this into her.
Okay. So how do they train her though? Like how do they take a personality and put it into an AI?
Well, think about it this way. How do we as people learn through information, right?
Sure. Through experience.
Through experience,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So what they did is they gave Zoe just mountains and mountains of data
Okay.
about personal AI.
Like what kind of data are we talking?
So like product documentation, any videos they have, blog posts, podcasts,
Wow.
anything you can think of that's about the company.
Okay. So it's basically like sending her to personal AI university.
Exactly, to learn everything about the company.
Yeah. So she basically knows everything there is to know about the company at that point.
But information is only one part of the puzzle.
Right. Because I can read a bunch of books about sales, but it doesn't make me a sales expert.
Exactly.
So what else did they do?
Well, that brings us to this idea of custom directives.
Okay.
So it's basically rules about how to use the information.
Okay, so it's like a framework for the AI.
Exactly like an instruction manual for Zoe.
All right, let's dive into this a little bit more. What kind of rules are we talking about here?
So for example, she is instructed to use what's called an inverted pyramid structure when she answers questions.
Yeah, okay.
And what that means is she gets right to the point, the most important information first, and then fills in details later.
Oh, okay, so she's not giving you like a super long-winded answer. If you just need like a quick answer, she'll just get to the point.
Exactly.
That's smart.
And that's all part of the custom directive.
So they really thought of every little detail.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
They also, dictate her tone of voice, the language she uses, even the visual presentation.
Oh, wow.
So they instruct her to use HTML to format her responses to make them really easy to read.
So they're thinking about not just what she's saying, but how she's saying as well.
Exactly. And the reason for this is because they want to make sure she is representing the brand in a really positive light. They want her to be approachable, professional, and give people a really good first impression of personal AI.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's really like crafting this whole persona
Right.
and making sure that every aspect of the interaction with Zoe is positive
Yeah.
and reflects well on the company.
It's just like when you meet a person, you judge them on their appearance, how they talk, their mannerisms.
You get a feeling.
Exactly. They're doing that with Zoe.
That's really interesting. So we've talked about her personality, the training data,
Mm.
these custom directives, but what does she actually do? Like, what are her tasks?
Well, she basically acts as a first point of contact for anybody who visits the personal AI website. So she can answer frequently asked questions about the company and their products. She can give personalized recommendations based on what the user is interested in. She can help people navigate the website, sign up for accounts.
So she's like a super-powered customer service rep,
Yeah.
but with the added benefit of having this personality and this sales experience.
Exactly.
Okay, that's pretty impressive.
And you know what the best part is?
What's that?
Personal AI isn't keeping this technology to themselves.
Okay.
They are empowering other people to create their own AI personas.
Wow. So this isn't just like some far-off future technology. This is something that is available now.
It is.
And that's kind of what we're going to be talking about in this deep dive is, how can we learn from what personal AI did with Zoe and apply that to building our own AI personas?
That's a great question. That's exactly what we're going to be looking at.
Perfect. Before we move on, though, one
Yeah.
thing that I noticed that personal AI emphasizes a lot is accuracy, transparency, and privacy. Why are those things so important when it comes to AI?
Well, those are crucial aspects of what personal AI is all about. They want to make sure that your data is being handled ethically and responsibly, and that you have complete control over what information your AI has access to.
Okay, so it's really about building trust,
Absolutely.
both with personal AI as a company and with the technology itself.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm excited to learn more about this and to see how we can apply it to our own lives. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of AI creation, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
So, we talked about all the data that Zoe was trained on and how she has this really cool personality.
Yeah, it's like she went to Personal AI University, right?
Right, exactly. But there's another really important element to all of this. It's called the custom directive.
Oh, yeah, we touched on that a little bit in the last section. Um, but what is it exactly, and why is it so important?
Well, you can think of it like Zoe's guiding principle. It's like a detailed instruction manual for how she should behave,
Yeah.
how she should communicate, how she should even
So
sound.
it's not just about what she knows, it's about how she expresses that knowledge.
Exactly. It's like having all the ingredients for cake,
Oh,
but not having the recipe.
right.
You need that recipe to put everything together in the right way.
So the custom directive is the recipe.
Precisely. It ensures that Zoe is consistent, that she maintains personal AI's brand identity, and that she's providing a really good user experience.
Okay, I'm starting to see how important this is. So what kind of instructions are included in Zoe's custom directive?
Well, one example is this idea of the inverted pyramid structure that we talked about before,
Right.
where she gets right to the point, most important information first, and then details later.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Huh.
Especially in a sales context, you know? You don't want to be rambling on and on if someone just wants a quick answer.
Right, people are busy. They want information fast.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's one instruction that's in there. Another thing that they specify is the visual presentation.
Oh, right.
They actually tell her to use HTML
Okay.
to format her responses.
So she's not just spitting out plain text.
Right, exactly. They want to make it visually appealing, easy to read.
Oh, so she's using headings and bullet points and things like that.
Exactly. And it all adds to the user experience.
Yeah, it makes it feel more professional,
Yeah.
more polished.
Right. It shows that they care about how she's presenting this information.
It's like a human sales rep would pay attention to their appearance and their mannerisms.
Exactly.
Zoe's presentation is like her digital appearance.
Precisely.
It all ties back to that idea of creating a positive first impression
Yeah.
and building trust.
Absolutely.
So we've talked about the personality, the training data, these custom directives. We're really starting to get a full picture of how they built Zoe.
Right.
But now I'm thinking about our listeners and how they can apply these lessons to building their own AI personas.
That's a great point.
Where do they even start?
Well, the first step is to define the purpose of your AI.
Okay.
What do you want it to achieve?
Like, what's its job?
Exactly what tasks will it perform? Who will it be interacting with?
Okay, so you need a clear vision before you even start building anything.
It's like laying the foundation for a house.
Right. You can't just start building walls without a plan.
Exactly.
So you need that blueprint.
And once you have that purpose defined, you can start thinking about the personality.
Right, because we saw how important that was for Zoe.
Exactly.
But how do you go about defining the personality of an AI?
Well, think about your target audience.
Okay.
Who will this AI be interacting with?
Right.
What kind of personality would resonate with them?
Like if it's a customer service AI, you'd probably want it to be patient and empathetic.
Exactly.
But if it's a marketing AI, maybe it needs to be more persuasive and energetic.
Precisely.
Maybe even a little bit playful.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the context.
And don't be afraid to get creative.
Yeah.
You can let your imagination run wild with this.
I like that.
Yeah.
So we've got the purpose, we've got the personality. What comes next?
Well, then we move on to the more technical aspects of actually building and training the AI.
Okay, sounds good. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so we've got our purpose, we've got the personality. Now it's time to actually build this thing, right?
Exactly. And that's where the fun begins.
All right, so where do we start? I mean, I'm no programmer, so do I need to like hire a team of data scientists or something?
No, not at all. It's actually much more accessible than you might think.
Okay, good to hear.
Remember how personal AI trained Zoe on that massive data set?
Yeah, like the product docs and all that stuff.
But that's the key data.
Okay, so data's important, but what kind of data are we talking about?
Well, it depends on what you want your AI to do.
Okay.
Let's say you're building an AI to help customers in your online store.
All right, I like that example.
You'd start with the basics, product descriptions, FAQs, return policy, anything a customer might ask about.
Okay. That makes sense, but I'm guessing there's more to it than that.
Right. You want to think beyond just the essential information.
Give me an example.
Let's say you sell handmade jewelry. You could feed your AI blog posts about jewelry care, style guides, customer testimonials, even social media comments.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not just about the what of your products, but the why people love them.
Yeah, that emotional connection is really powerful.
Exactly. And the more diverse and relevant the data, the better your AI will be able to understand and respond to your customers.
Okay, so we've fed our AI a feast of information. Now what?
Now it's time for the secret sauce, the custom directive.
Ah, yes, the recipe.
Precisely, remember, this is where you define the rules of engagement.
Okay, so remind me what kind of things we can specify in the directive.
Well, we talked about the inverted pyramid structure.
Right, get to the point quickly.
Exactly. But you can also define the tone of voice.
Oh yeah, like formal, friendly, quirky?
Right. Do you want your AI to use humor?
Okay.
Should it be concise or more conversational? You can even specify formatting preferences, like using emojis.
Wow, so we really have a lot of control over how our AI behaves.
You do, and that's what makes it so powerful.
Okay, this is all starting to come together.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I'm still a little nervous about letting an AI loose on my customers.
I understand.
What if it says something wrong and gives bad advice?
That's a valid concern, and it's why testing is so important.
Oh.
Before you unleash your AI on the world, put it through its paces. Have people interact with it and see how it responds.
So it's an iterative process.
Yeah.
We build, we test, we refine, and we test again.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Okay,
Mistakes are part of the learning process.
that's reassuring.
And remember, transparency is key. Be upfront with your users that they're interacting with an AI.
Right, set those expectations.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, it's all about building trust.
Yeah, just like any other aspect of running a business.
Exactly.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive. We've learned so much about AI and how to build our own AI personas.
And I hope our listeners feel empowered to take this knowledge and start creating their own AI solutions.
That's a great takeaway. So to our listeners out there, what are you going to create? We can't wait to see what amazing things you come up with. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.